video, so here we go. I don't even know how to call this segment, but I think it's going to be higher thought. It's going to take you on a little trip. It's going to make you focus a little bit. Hopefully you go along with my ride over here. Talking about ride, that's what we're going to be speaking about. Okay, we say a pasuk. Dרכיה, דרכי, נועם, וכל נתיבותיה, שלום. Right? דרכי, דרכי, נועם, וכל נתיבותיה, שלום. So, before we start, let's take a break. Before we start, everything in Hebrew has an understanding. Everything in English has an understanding. And we could just read things, and we could understand things. But when you look at Hebrew is a special language. Words don't just have one meaning. They may have many meanings. And not just that, they even have the core of the word, which is the shorish, which English also has in many instances. But you have the shorish of the word and the letters of the word. All of these add to the meaning. If you look at the word pill as an elephant, right? Pei, yod, lamed. The pei is when the elephant is sitting, it's crouching. It has the nose inward, right? It has the nose inward. The lamed is the elephant standing with the nose upward. And the yud is to show that all of it runs on a tiny little heart. You have a heart, the elephant's heart lets this huge monstrosity live. You have it with Leida, okay? Birth, yeah? Leida, lamed, yud, daled, and hey. Lamed is going to be for the womb. It has the womb of the woman, the lamed. Then you have the yud, which is what brings the child to life. Then you have the daled, which means the doifen, which are the walls around the womb, and the hey, which is where the baby is born from. So every letter has their significance when it comes to the shape, when it comes to the sound, and when it comes to the gematria, of course, when it comes to the value of the number. When we speak about Hebrew, the letters, the words of every pasuk that we speak about, of every word that we reference, they all have huge significance when it comes to why is this way. As I've mentioned in different videos, that Hashem created the world by talking. Hashem said, Bereshis, Hashem said, Vayomer, and things were created. They were created by thought. Thought came out as words, and these words turned into physicality. We as humans, we have thought. Thoughts come out to words, and words lead to action. We are built in the same way, but our words don't create physicality. Right now, with our technology, our words can create a certain space in the quantum realm, which means my words will be uploaded, they will be saved. They keep a certain space. A memory card holds space for such type of files, right? So these words do fill up a certain space somewhere, but they don't do it physical. They don't do anything physical because we are not gods. We are created in the image of Hashem, so we have the tools of Hashem, but we can't have the results that Hashem has, okay? Loi machshavosai machshavosechem, v'loi darkechem derachai, right? Ne'em Hashem, Noam Hashem, right? We are, Hashem testifies, Noam Hashem, like I testify, this is how it is. My thoughts are not like yours, and my ways are not like yours, but as much as that's true, B'Tselem Elokim, I did create you in my image. Okay? So now you have Dרכיה, דרכי, נועם, וכל נתיבותיה, שלום. My ways are ways of calmness, noyam, they're relaxing. וכל נתיבותיה, שלום, and all of her paths are peaceful. All of her paths are just calm, delightful, and peaceful. Shalom. What's the greatest thing in the world? Shalom. Lematza kadosh baruch hu kli masik bracha liyisrael ela hashalom. Hashem hasn't found a better tool, a better keli, vessel for this world than shalom, which means, if you want to put it into context, which we're talking about, understand the words, understand the significance of the meaning, is the world is in a cup. Lematza kadosh baruch hu kli masik bracha liyisrael ela hashalom. What's this kli? Where the Yisrael is in this kli. The oilam is in this vessel. And the reason I'm saying the world and Yisrael as the same thing, because Bereshis, Rashi says, B'shvil HaTorah u'b'shvil Yisrael. I created the world for the Torah, and I created the world for Yisrael. So this world needs a thing called peace. And Hashem says in this pasuk, Dרכיה, דרכי, נועם, וכל נתיבותיה, שלום. So we have a couple of levels that we can understand these words in. And these levels are the differences between different mefarshim in the Torah. Rashi may have understood it on a couple of levels, but he chose a certain path, that he chose that level throughout the entire Torah. The Radak, on the other hand, he's going to choose a deeper level, which is more on a philosophical way of thinking. and he's going to explain the entire Torah in that philosophical way. And if you go back even further, you have Abaya and Ruva, and you have Rabbi Hida and Reb Meir, Rabbi Akiva and Reb Tarfon, and Rabbi Gamliel, and Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. You have Hillel and Shammai, and you go all the way back up, possibly Moshe and Korach, going all the way back, Cain and Hevel, and it's Nasa Adam. It's the partnership of Nasa Adam. Let's create a person. Hashem doesn't need help. He says, let's create a person because people need a let's. We need to go back and forth. We need each other. So, Dרכיה, דרכי, נועם, בכל נתיבותיה, שלום. Her ways are sweet, and her paths, her roads, are very peaceful. And growing up, we all understand the simple meaning, as a human being should understand it, that if you follow the path of the Torah, you follow the ways of the Torah, you follow its roads, you will find sweetness, and you will find peace. And when you hear this, it's very heartwarming. We know it, we understand it. But how much can this pasuk give me meaning in my life? If I'm having a hard day, if I'm having a bad day, will I be able to take this pasuk and say, Dרכיה, דרכי, נועם, בכל נתיבותיה, שלום, and from one second to the next, I'll be able to pick myself up and say, you know what? I know I have problems, but my problems are nothing compared to the world, and I have a way out. Barosi Torah Tavlin. I have the Torah that's going to change my life. Can I have this pasuk that's going to just change me? Does it have that deep of a meaning? And the truth is it does. But we are only taught on a very low level. We're taught as human beings in a physical world where the things of the physical world are what matter. We have our parents worried about money. We have people worried about health. And you have wars in the world. You have things going on, and we can't run from our physicality. And in a physical world, we'd say, okay, listen, I understand you're stuck in these places, but I'm telling you the Torah is a nice place. You go there, and you'll understand how you could disconnect from the world and be in a higher realm and live a full life without having to worry about anything physical. If you can have that amunah and build yourself up to a place where Sur Meira, Asay Toiv, you know what not to do, you know what to do, you know what phone calls to take and what phone calls not to take. Some people get into this growth mindset and they're like, okay, I'm picking up every phone call from now on. It's like, okay, not everything Hashem sends you is for the benefit of that. Sometimes it's the benefit of knowing what not to do, and we have to be strong enough. The benefit Hashem is sending you by so-and-so calling you is by you not picking up and internalizing that significant moment as a move forward in your life. And once you understand this, you're like, okay, Dרכיה, דרכי, נועם. If I follow the path, not just go on the path, if I really walk slower and notice the marks on the road, notice the rocks, notice the trees on the side, and notice the potholes, and notice the hills and the slopes, and Shalom, and all of its little inroads. And as I go into the city, I look around at the buildings and the architecture. I start going through the Torah in such a way. I start looking at it as, wow, I live a life, and I'm connected to Hashem in a way that every moment of my life is thinking about Him. It's not just when you have Waze turned on or Google Maps or whatever you use for your GPS. It's like, okay, in 2.7 miles, turn right. And now, for the next 2.7 miles, all you're doing is just, okay, 2.7, 2.6, 2, 1.5, 1, 0.1 mile. That's all you're thinking about. Rather, 2.7 miles, I'll turn right, not a problem. Right now, I'm sitting in my car. It'll remind me when I need that to remind me. It'll remind me to get off. Yeah, it has the voice, and I'll be fine. I'll be reminded. It's like a little alarm back into physicality. But between now and that 2.5 minutes that it will take me to get there, I could sit back. I could look around at the trees, at the landscape, at the buildings, anything, the birds, the sky, the moon, and ponder Hashem. Take that time and think about Him. And that's what Dרכיה, דרכי, נועם is on a deeper level. You could start living your life in a very spiritual way and really enjoy that, really live it, really become that person. And people honor such people. You think at first, am I crazy? Am I different? What do people think about me? But the more truthful this philosophy becomes as part of you, the stronger you are to this, the stronger you are committed to this type of life. And people see that commitment. People see the devotion. People hear you speak. They hear that this is a real person. This is somebody who actually chooses to act and be the person he says he is. He's not just somebody who shows up and says certain things and we know that they are not that person. This person is real. He's true. He's honest. You see his davening is different. You see him being more polite and more invested into the things that really matter, rather than the things like chasing a dollar or being the richest guy on the block, or the guy with the nicest car, or the biggest pool. Like, no, there's truth to this person, and not just that. Once people know about you, will you be honored? By working this way, you will be honored by not looking for it. People will understand it. People will see that this person adds meaning when he puts his talis on. This person adds meaning. You see him singing when he walks out of his house, going on the way to shul Friday night. Such a person. Such a person. People just notice him as he walks by, as he lives his life, and now we could take this pasuk up another notch. Dרכיה, דרכי, נועם, נתיבותיה, שלום. A person who chooses to make his life fully connected to Hashem, it's not just that they see the world differently. It's not just that they start living a higher, meaningful life. They could even take it up another level of Dרכיה, דרכי, נועם, saying, I could see the pathways of Hashem. I could close my eyes and I could be there. We all know that we have certain habits, certain addictions, urges that they're so entrenched in our lives, in our minds, that just by closing our eyes for a little bit, we could see whatever we want to see. Whatever bad thing or anything that we're so used to seeing or being there, we could make it, we could bring it back to life. If somebody really, really enjoyed their mother's mac and cheese when they were younger, they could close their eyes and meditate on that and get into it and literally feel like they're there. Anything that we've ever experienced has that ability. And we hang out in a part of the mind that's just all the entrenched things, the way we talk, the way we walk, the way we react, and the things that we like. And we could learn how to change our default position. Why should I always be in this same area for 80, 90, 100 years of my life? Why would I stay in this one place for a day? Why would I choose to be just in one place in my mind all day long? That would be terrible. The Mishnah Maseches Avos says, Kol Torah she'ein ima derech eretz soifel mizbateles. Any Torah that doesn't have derech eretz, doesn't have any living attached to it, will fall apart. If somebody says, I'm going to be the greatest person in my mind, I'm going to be connected to Hashem 100%, and they don't do everything. They're still physical people, and they don't do any work. They don't make anything that they need happen. They don't do any ishtadlus, meaning if someone connects to Hashem 100% devotion, and he says, there's no way I'm getting out of this, this is what I want, and all the responsibilities of his life, meaning his wife, his kids, his health, his well-being, all these things are set. If they are okay with it, if your wife says, I'm okay with this path for you, and I will support you 100%, and you don't have any other responsibilities in the world, go ahead. But you have to remember, it's not about getting rid of responsibility, it's about taking on a new responsibility. This responsibility of being part of Hashem means that you're responsible to help the world see the way you see the world. It means that you actually add something of value to the world, not just add value to yourself. You have to make it about Hashem. As long as we're still doing it to add value for ourselves, we may find ourselves falling. We won't have derech eretz with us. We will still need to go and work. We will still need to go and provide and fulfill physical responsibilities and duties. And it's a good thing. We need to be able to get off our mind, not to be in one place. We need to have different chapters, different things that we do. We daven, we spend time with our wife and kids. We work, we spend some more time with our wife and kids. We learn, and we daven, and eat, and sleep, and enjoy. I don't want to say waste time, but we all do it, and we should all try to become better with it. But even wasting time, even doing that, learn how to do it properly on a schedule, knowing exactly what type of rabbit holes you might end up if you waste that time. Where are you going to go to? Is it on your phone, on technology, or with yourself? Where are you going to lead yourself? And we've all gone down the wrong paths. We've done things that are just not proper and should be rectified. And some things, what we got to do is just do tshuva. And we start living in this world, and we start looking, where can I find tshuva? And there's a Dרכיה, דרכי, נועם, נתיבותיה, שלום. We could find the room for tshuva up there. We could go there, and we could connect ourselves to a higher place, a higher dimension, not just being in a certain place, feeling a certain place. I know these are new concepts, and some of you may not understand, but when you go into the Torah world, you are not just physical. You're not being somewhere because you're physically there. You are there because you feel it. Your eyes are closed. Your mind knows it. You see that light. When you come out of that, you are recharged. You are a new person because you just came out of that room. It's going into a shower, eating something. It's physical. Over here, you're going into a spiritual place, and you could figure out these paths. Dרכיה, דרכי, נועם, נתיבותיה, שלום means you could find that path. You could guide yourself through your life. If you have a hard time, you say, okay, I figured out that there are some things in my life I need to improve. I feel like there are things that I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing. I can't complain to Hashem because I know my life. I know the things I've been doing. I know the good. I know the bad, and I try to stay humble. And we're not even talking about somebody whose his biggest avera is going to be that he thought of himself as a balgaiva, as a little bit prideful. If you want to get there, it's a tough fight. It's a tough battle. As you grow, as the Gemara says in Masechet Kedushin, Daf Lamed, that as you grow every day, the Yetzer Hara becomes stronger. He becomes bigger. He learns. He's an AI. He learns from your previous works, and he changes up his tactics. So this is what we're doing here. We're living in a physical world. Hashem created this physical world in order to see all of his will. Hashem had a will of all of this to play out slowly. He wants us all to find him. He wants us to turn around and say, Hashem, we've gone through your paths. We've gone through the physical world. We've gone through the spiritual world. We've learned Torah. We've gone through every level. We've lived. We are trying to live a better and stronger life in this physical world in order to find you. Even though we go through hardships, even though we have battles physically, even like with our health and with our finances and our relationships, we have battles spiritually with our Yetzer Hara, with our addictions, with our urges, things that carry us away. Things even spiritual, I would say, is even if somebody has a hard time waking up in the morning to go to work. I'm not saying to go learn or to go daven. Even to wake up in the morning, that's something spiritual. I call that the 2 a.m. mind. It's the mind that you know when you're alone, when there's no one else around and it's dark. That mind is a spiritual mind, and we have to learn how to hone it. We could hone it, and if you could envision those roads, if you could live there and hang out there, your feelings are going to be on this amazing roller coaster. Imagine if someone is depressed; they are in that mind, but they are in the slums. They're in Harlem. They're hanging with the wrong crowd, and in that same place, there's places to go up. And we could talk about the spiral. We could get into so many conversations, and every pasuk could lead you with its lesson in order for you to find Hashem through them. So I wish you all a pleasant ride, a pleasant growth journey. Hate that word; it's overused lately. I feel like anybody who realized that they were in the matrix for so long suddenly becomes a big maven, someone who understands in these things, and good for them. Keep it up, keep thinking this way, and eventually you'll make it. Eventually you'll learn how to set principles in your life. You'll learn how to be the person you really have to be, and let go of the things that pull you down, because are you really ready to do that? So that's the life that we're in. Good luck. I'm looking forward to having some more of those conversations, and I hope you enjoy.